Everybody, it's Chris from the Evermore podcast, just jumping on for a live post-match reaction. I'm just trying to get my breath back from that unbelievable game we've just had against Spurs. Newcastle United have come out on top again at one of the so-called Big Six clubs, or they are Big Six club. We beat Spurs 2-1 in their own backyard. Eddie Howe's Mags rattling the top six teams. It's just unbelievable to watch, honestly. What a brilliant game of football. I'm going to get stuck right into it in a minute. Just going to have a quick post-match reaction. Really, we are live tonight, so jump in the comments, let us know what you guys think about that game. If you can get your breath back, absolutely incredible. We're going to get stuck right into it in a minute. Jimmy's already in there, he's buzzing. Absolutely, Jimmy, I am buzzing as well, mate. So we're going to get stuck right in a second. Just before we do a little bit of housekeeping, if you haven't already, please click the like and subscribe button. We'd love you to come and join us. All our stuff is free. We have 2 live shows, Mondays and Wednesdays, and just pop up videos like this, especially when Newcastle United are just absolutely mint as they are right now. So I'm going to get stuck right into this in a second. So let's have a look at how we're lined up going down to the Spurs Stadium, the toilet bowl. I don't give a shit what it's called. We won. We're brilliant. So we're going to move into this here. So this is the lineup. Obviously, some changes in the lineup. Joe Willock came back into the side. There was a bit of Willie or won't he with Bruno prior to the kickoff, obviously, with his wife giving birth to his son, Matteo. So congratulations to Bruno and Mrs. Bruno as well. That was really brilliant for them to see. So, yeah, real strong team, really full of running, full of energy. Joe Litton came in and he was part of the front three as Jacob Murphy obviously took a sit on the bench. Elliot Anderson was out. He picked up a little bit of a knock, but we had a real strong side going in there. And obviously with that steady back five going up against Harry Kane, who I said in the preview had obviously a lot of goals and assists against us. So yeah, kind of how the game went on, really. So again, when Newcastle goes to these grounds now, we've just got no fear anymore. You know, me and Mark are going to get stuck into this a lot more in what's going on tomorrow night. But you just don't feel scared anymore with Eddie Howe at the helm with these players. You just don't feel frightened anymore going to these big grounds. You know, the lads look confident. There's a swagger about them. There's an arrogance about them. I love it. Absolutely love it. So we went into the game, obviously. Spurs, looking at Spurs lineup, really outside of Kane and Son. They didn't really have that much of a threat, really. The rest of them are kind of, you know, I wouldn't say average players, but they're not world beaters. You know, you go against Arsenal and City and that, they've got absolute world beaters in their team, squad depth, you know, galore. But looking at that, really, if Kane and Son aren't at it, really, they're not really going to be that much of a threat. I think Højbjerg was out. Sorry, I was trying to remember his name there. Højbjerg was out as well, which was a bonus for us. So Oliver Skip came in for them. And Emerson Royale came back from suspension, which really turned out to be quite good for us because Callum Wilson had him and Dyer on absolute toast. So obviously the game kicked off. It was a little bit of back and forth, just feeling each other out. They did get through a couple of times. Pope made a couple of good saves, one from Harry Kane, really good save, and then one from Son as well. But then shortly after that, the game really kicked into life. So the big one for us, obviously, Callum Wilson, he gets through on goal. I've got an image here to pull this up because this was a real talking point here. So this is what happened. So Callum Wilson goes through on goal. Great through ball, I think it was from Fabian Schär. Lloris already looked a little bit ropey. I think there was a minute or two before that where I think he passed it back to Dyer and then Dyer passed it back to him and it went out of play. The look really rattled just with Newcastle United's press, with our energy, you know, with Miggy Almirón, with Joe Willock, with Joe Linton. You know, these guys don't give you a second to breathe on the ball, and it really rattles these teams. But Lloris came out. Now, there's been a bit of a debate about it. So Lloris come out, and this is what happened in the end. He tried to, rather than clear the ball, he tried to touch it with whatever part of his body. It was kind of like his midriff. And obviously Callum Wilson's running straight at him. He can't clear the ball. So Callum Wilson with pace and Lloris just collide. Lloris goes down and Wilson gets the ball and he lobs it over the top of Lloris and scores a goal with 1-0 up. So everyone's going mad about it. You know, Conte's going mad about it. Spurs players are going mad about it. But for me, Lloris has just fucked up. He hasn't cleared the ball. You're a goalkeeper in that situation. If that was Nick Pope, we'd have said he's fucked up. He should have cleared the ball. He's got himself in trouble there. There's nothing wrong with that. Callum Wilson can't go anywhere. You know, he's not going to suddenly, even if he tries to slam the brakes on, he's going to just bang into Lloris anyway. But what made me laugh, I think Jamie Redknapp in the studio at halftime, he had said that it was a definite foul for him. And then I saw some stuff on social media. There's that knacker, the Manchester United kid who's gone to TalkSport as a goal Goldbridge or Goldberg or whatever his fucking name is. He turned around and said it was definitely a penalty, and I don't. Oh, sorry, definitely a foul. I don't understand what shit he's been smoking. Really, I really don't. He probably thought Ronaldo's goal stood. Actually, as a matter of fact, he did think Ronaldo's goal should have stood at Old Trafford. So that shows you what level of utter bullshit he's talking. Then even likes of Ben Foster, who I really like, turned around and said it's a foul on Twitter. I'm sorry, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. The keeper's ballsed up. He should have shifted the ball. He should have cleared the ball. Callum Wilson's got nowhere else to go but a clatter into him. The ball's loose. The ball's live. It's a good enough goal. So it went to VAR. They checked VAR, and then obviously the goal stood. So, Spurs delivered, Harry Kane's moaning, everybody's whinging and everything else. But for me, that is a legitimate goal. There's nothing you can do about that. Mark's in the comments there. He isn't with me tonight because he's doing housework, bless him. So he's on the sly here. Skyver, don't tell his missus. So he said if Lloris stays on his feet, he can stop Wilson from shooting. But by diving, he costs his side. Absolutely, definitely not a foul, as Mark says. I couldn't agree anymore. Your goalkeepers get way too much protection these days. They really do. If you're going to make a mistake like that, like Lloris did, and it was the second or third mistake that he made. He looked really, really shaky. He looked worried. He was worried about Wilson's pace. He was worried about Almirón's pace. He was worried about. So I'm just laughing at Mark's comment there. Housework. Sorry, Mark. He was worried about the busyness of the Newcastle United front line, and he had a right to be because his defence was not very good. Romero can get caught short. I said that in the preview. Dyer's a shocking centre half. If Dyer was playing for Newcastle United, I would absolutely be livid if he was playing there. Apologies to Mark, he's decorating much more manly. So, yeah, but for me, it's not a foul at all. Absolute bullshit. I mean, Sir Les Ferdinand, sorry to use his full title, was in the studio for Sky that I was watching, and he said it wasn't a foul. He was saying, strikers union and everything else. So Spurs are totally rattled after that, completely rattled. We're up, we're ready to go for this. Then, not too long after that, another shit kick through from Lloris. That I think went to, I don't know if it was Royale, but the pressure from Mickey Almirón, he's on, and Almirón's through, and he gets through in the box, he slips under the keeper, slips under Lloris, we're 2-0 up, we're absolutely buzzing, the Newcastle fans are singing at the top of the lungs, I could hear them from bloody North Shields in London, they were that loud, absolutely superb, Spurs absolutely shite, shocking, their chins are on the floor, Harry Kane's looking sick, wishing he went to Manchester City, we're absolutely buzzing. And Spurs were completely and utterly shell-shocked. And just goes to show you how far this team has come. This team got annihilated at Spurs last year, 5-1, annihilated. Eddie Howe's made them learn from their lessons. They've gone in with confidence. Excuse me, 2 good results this week. Should have really won against Manchester United, in my opinion, and won against Everton. So this should have been the 3rd win on the spin. But this is an incredible result. It really, really is. We've got Ian in the comments. Good evening to you too, pal. Fucking get in too, right? And he's saying Wilson was a pain in the arse. He absolutely was. Wilson tore them shreds today. We were talking, I think, was it against Everton? I think we had a couple of guys in the comments. It might have been trolls, actually. And he was saying it was a bit worrying that Wilson was getting a bit of a goal drought. And me and Mark had both said weren't too concerned about that. Mark had actually said Wilson will be back in the goals soon enough. And he was brilliant today. He was leading the line. He was holding the ball up. He was pushing defenders left, right, and centre. He was, he was obviously a threat going through, and everything else just absolutely unbelievable. Coming there from Pool King, Harry Potter, Rainbow, Kane, then got pushed and they were headed to score. Yeah, to be honest with you, that was the second half, so it's probably a good lead in actually. So come in for the second half. Spurs obviously must have got a rollicking off Conte. I'd fully imagine that. And then they were huffing and puffing a bit. they were making some movements. We were still playing quite well. I think Joe Litton was absolutely superb. I'm going to come on to your comment in a second, Amanda. I can see that. Don't you worry. I'll be there in a second. But yeah, just they were pushing hard, and then a cross comes in. I think it flicks off. Looked like it flicked off Botman or Shaw, and then it possibly could have skimmed Sanchez's shoulder, which will come back to his second. But it gets to the back post, and Trippier, to be fair, Harry Kane is brilliant in finding space in a box in moments like this. Harry Kane gets in, diving header, puts in the back of net, a 2-1 up, it goes to VAR again. We're thinking, will VAR kind of look at that and maybe think, oh, do you know what? It skimmed Sanchez's shoulder. It would have been really harsh if it happened against us. We'd have been absolutely livid, no doubt about that. So the goal stands, it's 2-1. But you look at the statistics in the second half, we were just dominant again. I think Sky pulled up a graphic at one point, and we were 61% possession, 7 shots against their 1 shot, which was Harry Kane's goal. Absolutely done. What a team. Unbelievable. unbelievable. Eddie Howe's my exact. I'm buzzing about it. We're going to come on to some lovely pictures in a minute that we'll all love. And I've got another comment there saying Saturn work buzzing me tits off by Vindius. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So yeah, we're going into the second half. Obviously, we're digging deep. We're gritting. There's a couple of yellow cards flying around. Bruno's very lucky. I think Bruno got a booking. I think he could have possibly got a red card. There was a couple of those lovely Bruno slide tackles that he maybe just got away with a little bit. Too right, top G, up the Premier League we go. But yeah, just, looking at it, we grafted so hard. I thought Willock was sensational. Longstaff was good. Joe Litton was brilliant. Some of the tracking back Joe Litton did was unbelievable. There was a couple of times Spurs broke, and I was starting to worry. Starting to get the sweat beads coming on the forehead. And I've got a lot of forehead, as you can see. And Joe Litton just comes steaming back. He puts in them challenges. He's just got such an engine. And this was him carrying a knee knock, apparently. And he was just absolutely brilliant. Back five was great again. I was worried about Burn getting caught out, but Burn was good. I don't think Burn really got too done, in all fairness. Obviously we were talking about Target coming back and everything else, but it's just we're going to these teams and we just stand up toe to toe, we stick our chest out and we say, come on. We're looking, saying our midfield is as good as yours, our strikers as good as yours, our defense is better than yours, our keeper's better than yours, and just it's just sensational, absolutely sensational. A comment there from David. Good evening, mate. How you doing? So the way this team play, we'll have to drop a few players, or the hacks will be having heart attacks. Asking the right good write-ups on the tune. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And Dawn's back in, said, interested to see how Shelby fits in this team now. I do agree with that, Dawn. I mean, it was great to see John Joe come on at the end. It really was. He looks in sensational shape as well, to be fair. But the problem with John Joe is he slows down the pace of the game. Sometimes it's great, when you're up against it and he slows down that pace and he can ping those passes. And he's got runners now. He's got Miggy, who's running with purpose. He's got Joe Litton. He's got Willock, who's got an unbelievable engine. Maybe a lot underrated than a lot of people think. But Shelby slows down this pace, whereas Bruno speeds up the game. Bruno's pace, give me an off, pass, turn on the swivel. And with Bruno, we never stop moving the ball, never. Even Longstaff's passing the ball quicker, playing alongside Bruno. So maybe Shelby might find himself a bit part player going forward. I know we were talking about how we want him back, but the way we're playing now, and the kind of press and the play and the speed that we're playing with and the intricate passing, it's just absolutely fantastic. Even Jacob Murphy looks good on this side, which I've never thought I'd ever say. So we've got Daniel Bolam saying Newcastle are the best. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Great comment there, Mark. Ollie H must have vomited at seeing Newcastle top four. I've got to pull it up, actually, because a couple of you have mentioned it already. So I'm going to pull this up. PK banged this in the chat group. Just take a moment to drink that in, guys. There's Newcastle United right there, 4th place in the Premier League on 21 points. And you know what? We should probably be higher. We played Manchester City. We should have really beat them, allowed them back in the game. We've played Arsenal. We've played Liverpool, who had 8 minutes to beat us. We've played Spurs and beat them. We've played Manchester United and drew with them and should have beat them as well. We'll beat Arsenal as well when they come. Fuck them, we'll beat them all. But to see Newcastle United sitting there, 12 games in, on 21 points, 4th in the league, is just utterly sensational. I know sometimes teams peak a bit early in the Premier League, and you go, well, listen, they're going to be 4th or 5th now, but come Christmas they'll drop, they'll go down, they'll be in the mid-table, everything else. I honestly can't see that with this side. You rattle off them teams that we've just played there. We've played some of the very best, and we've not just hung with them. We should have beat them, and to me, we've done that largely without Alan St-Maximin, without Alexander Isak, without John Joe Shelby, at times without Bruno, and without Callum Wilson, and we've still managed to get these results against these big teams, and we probably should have beat most of them as well. So for the rest of the season going forward, I mean, we're unbelievable at St James's Park. I would back us to do anybody at St James's Park the way we're playing now with that atmosphere. You send us Real Madrid or Barcelona in the Champions League next season, and I'd fancy us to have a good game against them. I'm not being hyperbolic. This team is unbelievable. It really is. The confidence, the desire, the hunger that these lads are playing with is just absolutely incredible. It really, really is. I mean, going back to the game itself, so as the game kind of rolls on, looking at it, pressing further and further, we should have had a penalty as well, in my opinion. So cross comes in, Joe Litton heads the ball back across, and it hits, trying to remember whose hand it hits. I think it hits Eric Dyer's hand. And it's a carbon copy of the penalty that Dan Burn got done for against I think it was against Brentford, wasn't it? I think it was. And you look at that and you think, where's the consistency here in the VAR and the refereeing? So that should have been a penalty as well. But you know what? We didn't need it in the end. You know, we could have been 3 or 4-1 up at one point. You know, Spurs were just absolutely wiped away. I have not, as Emerson's hand, sorry, Mark's just in the comments that Emerson's hand, he was shocking today, Emerson Royale. You know, when we get the subs coming on, you know, Chris Wood coming on. Chris Wood spun their defence 3-on-1 and he gets fouled. You know, it just honestly, it looked like the game that just everything was going right for us. But, you know, Emerson Royale shouting at Callum Wilson, telling him to get off quickly. He's having a go at Bruno for walking off and clapping the fans. And then about 5 minutes later, he fouls Wood and gets a yellow card. So even Carragher was giving him shit in the commentary. But it's honestly, it's just incredible to see. It really, really is. I'm nearly lost for words. I am, you know, how the lads feel, absolutely. It's just, when you're looking at this team play right now, it doesn't seem to matter who comes in. You know, I was gutted Elliot Anderson wasn't on the bench for a bit of an X factor, but we just didn't need him today. You know, we didn't need that X factor. We were all worried going into this game. You know, we were talking in the chat. I think we did obviously Evermore on Wednesday, and you know, we were hoping for a draw. I think Lee did say we'd win 2-1. To be fair to Lee Forster, so I'll give Lee a shout out there. And PK was a bit pessimistic. He said we'd probably get beat 2-1, but this Newcastle United now just cannot be ignored. It really, really can't be ignored. As David's saying there, the hacks have to check their passports and ensure they're currently north of Manchester. I hope the hotels charge them 200% going rate. Absolutely. So, I mean, you know, we're probably going to talk about a hack in particular. I blocked him on Twitter because I think he's an absolute prick. Oliver Holt, I might as well just say who he is. He's been obviously digging at our manager. He's been getting some jip. He was very disrespectful, I thought, to the lads at Newcastle Fan TV, who do a brilliant channel. Great show, really good lads as well. I thought he was really disrespectful to them. I think he is going to go on their show now. I wouldn't have him on here. I said that to Mark, he can get fucked. I'm not interested in having a hack wank like that on here to even justify why he says the things that he does. Newcastle United, to me, at the minute, I think Jamie Carragher even said at the start of the season, you wouldn't have considered Newcastle United as a Champions League contender. Yes, you might have said top 8, top 7. Excuse me, but looking at that now, I'm choking on my own ambition here. Looking at that now, Jamie Carragher even said on the commentary that you can't ignore Newcastle United now. You look at where they are, you know, coming towards the World Cup break, the points we've got on the board, the teams we've played. He was talking about the way that we played against Liverpool, and he said, we're no soft touch. You know, and he's Liverpool through and through. You know, he doesn't want to say anything bad about Liverpool or Jurgen Klopp's boys, but Liverpool were lucky to beat us, and Jurgen Klopp knows that as well. He never say it through his Turkish teeth, but you know, he knows they were lucky to beat us. And I agree with you, Paul King. Give them all a rise too, right, mate? And I think a lot of these lads will be getting new contracts anyway. I think Bruno's already under discussion. I think I know Callum Wilson's just had one. You know, I think the better they play, the more they raise the game, the more that the club will want to put them on enhanced contracts. Maybe it's something that they've spoke about, behind the scenes, and possibly get the lads, performing a bit better as well. I totally agree with you as well, Ashington. Liverpool did cheat, and Liverpool needed to cheat most of the season to get anything really. But yeah, going back to that, obviously we're winning 2-1 today. It's just incredible. It really, really is. I mean, you're looking at the side now, and you're just not scared of anybody really. You're not worried about whoever's next. In terms of the fixture calendar, you know, as it happens, we have got Aston Villa next at home on Saturday the 29th. Now, Villa had a good result today. Funny, every time a team gets rid of a manager, players suddenly find their form again. Very interesting. I don't count us in that because we had decent players and we had little spells under Bruce, but he totally outstayed his welcome anyway. But you look at what Eddie Howe's got out with these players, the extra percentage and everything else, you know, it categorically tells you they were right to do it. But you see them Villa players, the same players, you know, not putting it in under Gerrard, and then they're putting it in now, and they're winning 4-0 today. But you know what? Bring them on. I'm not scared of them at all. You know, we possibly might have somebody from the Villa Park pod on. Good lads, we know them quite well, for a bit of a match preview to see how they feel coming to St James's Park after seeing us today, after seeing 4th in the league, Newcastle United in the league today, taking Spurs apart. Oh, that's so exciting, honestly. You just don't want to wait till the next game at the minute, the way we're playing. It's absolutely incredible. We've got Jams lads in the comments, 100 mil talent missing, and top 5. I went to Mags, top 4, Jam, top 4, mate. Must have checked the table where we finished. But you're right, mate. I mean, we're doing that without Alexander Isak and Alan St-Maximin. Who'd have ever thought we would have said that, you know, even a matter of a month or so ago? this team, I mean, Jacob Murphy coming in, Miggy Almirón. I mean, Miggy Almirón is totally transformed. I had a bit of a funny tongue-in-cheek tweet today about Jack Grealish, stacking Jack Grealish for calling him shit, because ever since he's done that, he seems to have been just utterly sensational. And I honestly do wonder if Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall have sat him down and said, look at this prick, he doesn't know anything about you. You show him, Miggy, and Miggy's just rose to the challenge. I mean, we were all screaming for a right winger to be bought in the summer window. Miggy, the way he's playing now, why would you buy one? I mean, the way he's playing right now, yes, I know form is temporary and everything else, but, the way he's playing now, who's going to come in ahead of Miggy Almirón? The goals he's getting, the contributions, the pace. I mean, even towards the end of the game, I think it was round about, it was 85, 86 minute. And the pace he's shown to Preston Reese, who was shit themselves yet again, was just absolutely sensational. Mark's back in the comments. We said in the podcast on Wednesday, if you stay top 6 by the World Cup, add some more quality in January, and Europe is a realistic prospect. Might be too early for the Champions League, but why not have a Leicester-style season? Absolutely, Mark. I mean, the Leicester season was beautiful for us neutrals to watch. Very fairy tale, very out of the blue. And a lot of the top teams were shit that season. No disrespect to Leicester, but that was the truth. But, I mean, I really do think that, I think I said this on Evermore, I can't see us dropping out the top 10 the way we're playing now. We've played the best. We're going to play the rest. I think we've played some of the rest already. I mean, frustrating draws against Palace and Bournemouth as well. But, I don't see who's got anything to threaten us, really, the way we're playing. If we can keep the players fit, that's key. Got to keep Wilson fit. When he plays like that, he's brilliant. They're talking about him for the World Cup in the commentary. There's a few people have thrown a bit of shade on him and everything else. For me, if Callum Wilson's fit, he's got to be on the plane for the World Cup. We'll be talking about that as the World Cup gets closer and closer, about, the chances our lads have got of being in the World Cup squad. But Wilson, on that form, playing like that against a big team, on the stage with Harry Kane, he's more than holding his own. He's showing his threat, his strength, his pace. He's a bit of a shithouse as well. He's exactly the kind of centre forward that you need. And for me, if I'm a Gareth Southgate, if he's fit, he's there. He's absolutely there, alongside Harry Kane, in my opinion. But obviously we'll wait and see what happens there. But for us, we just want Callum to be fit for Newcastle United. And as Ashington saying there, imagine we had Maxi, top form, and Isak as well. I mean, they will come back soon, mate. I mean, they'll be like 2 new signings as well. He was worried about Wilson at one point. Thought he was going to be injured. That's the problem with Wilson. Every time he goes in for a challenge, you do get worried that he's going to limp off or something like that. And I think Eddie Howe does watch that on the sideline, and he watches how quickly he can take him off. If we were dominant in that game, if we'd went 3-1 up, I think Wood would have come on 10, 15 minutes earlier. But the fact that you needed Callum to do what he was doing, he could have got one of our players sent off quite easily. He was that busy, he was that full of pace. That annoying. If he was playing against us, we'd have hated him today. But it's just a brilliant team performance. It really is. I'm so buzzing for Eddie Howe and the lads, and obviously all the travelling mags as well. Whoever's gone down there, I know we would have went in there in big numbers. So everybody who's gone, stay safe, travel back, have a good few beers. You'll enjoy that tonight. You'll be rough at work tomorrow, I'm sure. But this is just, what a season that this could be. It really is, as Jan says in the comments as well. So I'm enjoying this nosebleed. Absolutely, Jan. Absolutely. It's incredible. It's reminding me of the throwback to not to the entertainers, to the Bobby Robson era. We had this mixture of a side, some experience, some youth, and we were playing this kind of football against these top teams. Nobody thought we were going to be there, but we were there, and we qualified for the Champions League. So it reminds me a lot of the Bobby Robson era, which is absolutely brilliant. So Paul King said Leicester won the league by holding shirts in the penny area. They did it to us last game of the season. Premier League has changed. Yeah, absolutely, you're right, mate. There was a little bit, excuse me, there was a little bit more that got away from VAR and the referees and stuff like that. Back when Leicester won the league, but hey, we can't knock them. If we won the league like that, we wouldn't give a shit. If we won the league by punching people in the throat, we would have took that all day long. But yeah, this Newcastle United right now is just absolutely sensational. Couldn't agree more with Ashington there. Almirón is like a racehorse, keeps going. I just pray that he doesn't get injured, mate. I mean, because at the minute you're looking at the team, the team sheet, and that back five obviously it's got to be in, isn't it? I mean, Target can't get any other side. The way Burns playing. Burns been absolutely sensational left back. He's another one for England. Centre half and left back. He gives you 2 positions in one. But you're looking at this side, and Almiron's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet. You can't drop him the way he's playing. He's such a good player at the minute. And everyone's shit scared of him and they can't deal with him because he's like a karaoke ball just bouncing around everywhere. And he's just so quick. And he's just, at the minute now, he's running with purpose. He's doing the right things. He's passing the right ball. He's taking the right shot. He's clinical in front of goal. He's confident. They've seen in the commentary, Carragher was saying he's a different player. I got a big shout out to Jamie Carragher. I love the Jack Grealish line as well, actually. So a lovely bit of shit house for you by Carragher. But I thought we were brilliant today. And, we're playing with such confidence and vigor at the minute. I think I said we go to these away grounds now, and we don't care who you are, what you've won, who's playing for you. We go in there with swagger, with confidence, with arrogance, and it's brilliant to see from Newcastle United. It really is. It's, for years we were just timid, scared, group of players that would go in, sit deep, try and hope for a draw or hit somebody in the break and try and get a shithouse win. And under Bruce, we were doing that against the likes of Sheffield United and teams like that. We don't do that now. Eddie Howe's Mags go toe to toe with people. We're not scared of anybody at all. Doesn't matter who they are. I totally agree with you, Ashington. That's a massive game. I said this about the Manchester United game, and I'll just maybe leave you with this, and then we'll sign off in a minute. But the Manchester United game, I said to the lads, I think I said on Evermore, if we were to win that game, it would have been a sliding door moment where people would have had to start taking Newcastle United seriously. We didn't win that game. We should have won that game. I think Man United were a bit shit. I mean, obviously the Rashford chance at the end, they probably should have put that away. But we had chances, better chances. Joe Linton's headers that we should have won that game. But this game today, for me, is a sliding door moment. It really is. Too right. I totally agree with you as well. To Foley, up the fucking Mags. Some new names tonight, guys. If you haven't already, click that like and subscribe button. We'd love you on board. You help us get to 2,000 subs, and we're growing and growing, and it really helps the channel flow if you click that button. But yeah, just you're looking at this game today. Spurs just beaten for Manchester United midweek. A point to prove. A top six side, a side that's got title aspirations. England's number one striker up front. Son, who's a brilliant player, Lloris, who's a World Cup winning goalkeeper, Conte, who's a brilliant manager, and nobody's given us a chance, really. They're saying Newcastle will be lucky if they get a draw. And we don't just go there and sit in, we go there and press and push on them, push our game to them and run them ragged. They looked spun, they looked rattled, they looked wound up. Conte looked furious on the sideline. So, Manchester United doing that to them at Old Trafford, as much as Manchester United are very much not the old Manchester United they used to be. Manchester United doing that at Old Trafford, they can do that to people at Old Trafford. That's expected of Manchester United. If Manchester United don't do that, it looks a bit different. But for us, nobody expected us to do that. They're getting to the point now where expectation is changing for Newcastle United. Evening to you too, Roger. What an evening it is, mate. And the 2-4, incredible. What a great way to end the weekend, mate. But it's just Newcastle United right now are going to have to be taken seriously. A few comments there before about the hacks in the media. Your Oliver Holt, your Martin Samuels, all these shithouse, southern theatre going journalists who hate talking about anything north of Manchester. They're going to have to start waking up and realising that Eddie Howe's Mags are here to stay. We are going to rattle up the top six in this league. If we don't finish top 7 this season, I will be absolutely astounded. The way we're playing, it will just take massive injuries, serious downturn of form. But I don't believe that this manager will let those players take their foot off the gas like that. There seems to be a unity. I think Callum Wilson referred to it as an aura about the team and the squad. And you can just see the confidence. They believe that they belong on the same stage as the top players in the top 6 sides. That's not what we had under Steve Bruce. It's not what we even had under Rafa, in all fairness. Going back to Pardew, Allardyce, all these other managers that we had, our players didn't believe that they belonged in that company. They didn't believe they belonged on that pitch with a Harry Kane, with a Son. Now these lads do. It doesn't matter if you're Jacob Murphy or if you're Callum Wilson or if you're Kieran Trippier. These guys believe that they should be on that pitch with those players. And that is credit to the manager, to Eddie Howe, who's just absolutely unbelievable. Any doubts of Eddie Howe need to be gone right now. For what he did last season and what he's continued to do this season is incredible. Good to see you in the comments, trolls. Absolutely, mate. We absolutely love it, mate. Loving it tonight. Ashington saying, I don't mind the criticism. I want to keep proving them wrong and make it more satisfying. Absolutely, yeah. But, if they're going to knock us, it'll just further solidify that kind of us versus their mentality as well, won't it, mate? We've got Dash Elminator. Miggy is this year's Joe Linton. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Miggy has changed everyone's opinion, mine included. I said he was gash, said he couldn't cross the street. He just runs around in circles. And you know what? Look at him now. Absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational. Funny comment there from Ashington as well. Government, the wrong job. Steve Bruce is showing them how it's done. Paid millions for ruining teams. Absolutely, absolutely. But you know what? we're going to sign off in a minute here because I was only going to come on for a quick reaction. Thank you so much to everybody in the comments. As I said, there's a couple of new names in there. If you haven't already, guys, please click that like and subscribe button. We'd love you to come on board. We're on about 1906, I think we are, subs at the minute. So we'd love you to help us get us to 2,000. We're not even as old as the takeover yet, as we keep saying, but it's been a great journey so far on Evermore. And we really enjoy doing this. We love talking to Newcastle United with you guys. So some of these comments as well is brilliant. Roger, Unity, absolutely. Ashington, I'd love to see Steve Bruce back in Villa. I'm not sure the Villa would do. And Miggy is God. Absolutely, Dave. That's a great way to end it. We're going to be back with what's going on tomorrow with me and Mark, or one more there from Jimmy. Oliver Holt is a type of vulgar parasite that has managed to use human rights as a way of disguising his contempt of competition. Well said, Jimmy. Come and join the show tomorrow. What's going on? Live at 10 o'clock with me and Bob. We'll talk about that prick. And we're going to put him under the Evermore sword and just talk about some of the ridiculous things that he's been saying. I hope the Newcastle Fan TV lads really go with him as well after that ridiculous tweet that he sent, because it was unnecessary. They've had Henry Winter on. He's a class act. I'd love to have him on our channel. I'm not sure whether he would come on or not, but I'd love to have him on. And there's no need for that kind of disrespect. Fan-led media is growing. Fan-led media is really enjoyable. You know, we talk about the game. We're close to the game. We go to the games. We spend our hard-earned money going to see the games. We deserve more respect from people like Oliver Holt. So fuck him, and tune in tomorrow night, and we'll see what we're saying about that. So that's me signing off, guys. Let's keep supporting that team of United. Come and join us tomorrow, as I say. Me and Mark will be back with what's going on. And then I won't be here this week forevermore, but Mark is hosting, so make sure you tune in for that. It's his first time hosting without me, so I'm sure he'll be a lot more professional than when I'm on there normally. So, as I said, a couple of comments there. Come on the tune and onward and upwards. Absolutely, Roger. That's a great way to sign off, guys. You have a great night, whatever we're doing. Get the beers in. 3 points for the Magpies. Champions League here will come. Let's keep supporting the team of United, and we'll catch you later. Cheers now. Bye.